Good evening, folks, and welcome to a show with no name. I'm Marlon Weems, the publisher of the Journeyman newsletter, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Arturo Dominguez, the publisher of Decolonized Journalism. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. So,
Ah,
yeah, I tell you, man, it is
man,
a
it's
lot.
it's nonstop. Nonstop.
Arturo,
That is
I don't know where we
so we were
start,
just
man.
talking about oh yeah, I mean, we were just talking about off the air before we got on here about the sailors jumping off a ship. I mean,
That
you
is
looked it up and those aircraft carriers are 20 stories.
it's
I
crazy.
mean, that's the size of an apartment, I mean, can you imagine hitting the water from like that? From what is that, like
No,
200
I
something
mean,
feet?
I just checked on Alexa, and it's like 20 stories. I was joking before we went live. I mean, I don't know if I'd survive jumping off the first story of my house. 20 stories,
I mean, I'll jump off it
you're
if I
hitting the
have to,
water.
but
Oh yeah, I mean, if it okay, so it's a broken leg or an ankle or something. I mean,
you
you
know,
could survive it, but 20 stories, you might as well jump on the
yeah,
concrete when you hit that
yeah, that's
ocean,
gonna
man.
hurt. Yeah, and I also so the morale on the ship, there's been like violence between crew members. Those ships are huge. They're like small cities.
Hmm.
So I mean, you could go a long period from one side of the other ship to the and not see the other side. And I don't know, there's beef between people, and I mean, you're in a confined space like that for what were they saying? Like 200 and something days already,
Mhm.
almost
Yeah, I
300 or
mean, it's been
something.
almost a
And
year. Almost a year.
yeah, and they normally, I saw that they normally port like every few weeks. So to
Mhm.
be out there for what, 9, 10 months or whatever without port, the quality of the food is trash.
Right.
Your clothes aren't smelling so good. I imagine the sewer systems ain't working well either. Laundry system, like there's so many things on a ship, fresh water, like how, I
No,
mean,
they
it's
said
gotta
that
be
these
bad.
guys literally are getting I mean, it's to the point where at least what I've heard today is you know, spoiled meat, toiletries,
Yeah, yeah.
all the various things that just daily stuff, food has gone bad. And you can just kind of fill in the blanks in terms of what just what that must look like. I mean, just
Yeah, I
imagine
mean,
if
this
you're out there for almost a year and you haven't, I guess they're not getting resupplied. How many people are
I mean, they
on
do have
one of these,
it depends
aircraft
on the ship,
carriers?
but it could be as many as like 2,200 or
Shoot.
something. Yeah.
I would have thought it was even more than that, but you know,
I mean, maybe it depends, I guess. But I know they do have, supply ships that
mhm.
bring stuff. I've seen supply ships, like a supply ship right next to another big battleship or aircraft carrier, and they have these like pulley systems that go from one ship to the other, and they can send whole pallets of things. They'll have a helicopter come and transport stuff from one boat to the other. So they do get supply ships, but that can't be anything comparable to a port where
I
you have
mean,
access to everything you need.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it's got,
Man, I
the
got to tell
supply
you,
ships is how they get.
I'm sitting here complaining because it's almost 90. I can't even imagine
Yeah,
being out in the middle of the ocean in the Middle East of all places.
yeah,
I mean, wow.
cooking.
You know,
Yeah,
it really what gets me about the whole thing, just, it's not the most important thing, but you got guys out here in this administration that are, oh, I mean, every time they talk all the talk about how they
right.
honor the military and they're so alpha male and all of this stuff. And you look at how do you let these guys be out there like this? I mean, what's going on? I don't know the explanation. I mean, now they're sending another aircraft carrier, I guess, to replace them, I assume, and take these, these
Yeah,
guys.
you have to.
Oh, I mean, but how do you let it get to this place? I just don't understand.
It's extremely irresponsible because first, if if you had somebody at the Joint Chiefs of Staff who was qualified to do so,
Mhm.
if you had somebody at the head of the Department of War who was qualified to be there, they take
Mhm.
these kind of things into account before starting a war.
Oh, you
Logistics,
mean like running out of munitions and stuff
right?
like that?
Right.
Dude, it's
Logistics is a
crazy.
necessity in everything in life. Like you have to plan your logistics for you're going on vacation. There are
Listen,
logistics.
man,
You
I
know what I
went to
mean? Come on.
Wilmington today. I went to Wilmington, which is 30 miles away, and I planned yesterday, like my whole,
Of course.
where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, make sure I got some money, the basics, right? I don't know how you send people off to war and they're just out there eating bad meat, and they, don't have just the basics, toilet paper, stuff like that. I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah.
And you know what's
I don't.
crazy about it? I mean, even on, on a political level, I guess. Um, Senator Jack Reed was on Bloomberg 10 minutes ago, or they were replaying. I think they interviewed him earlier today. Democrats aren't even getting briefed on anything. When
Right.
Hegseth goes and briefs, he only briefs Republicans. I mean, what the fuck,
Right.
dude? That is, to me, at some level, and I know they can't do this, but you almost want to pull a guy off into a side room and wake him up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't get
Shake him.
this.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chris Rock said, I ain't gonna hit him, but I'll shake the shit out of him. I mean, honestly though, what is going on?
I mean,
it's not funny, man. We're not supposed to be hitting people and all. I mean, but come on, we're talking about a guy who's walking around and can't quit talking about push-ups and all this, which, by the way, we've seen him in action. He ain't all that, but still, he gave that one thing where he's talking about people being overweight and all this stuff. And, look, I didn't serve, man, but I respect people who did or do. And I just, on a human level, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you put people out there like that.
Right. So like right now he's in Panama, and I've been following his little trip down there and keeping an eye on Latin America and everything else that's going on. He's talking about the warrior ethos, right? And how the United States is
there
like
this is some comic book shit.
The sovereignty. Right. And he's not talking about protecting sovereignty in Latin America. Meanwhile, they're over there threatening people, threatening countries with military.
Latin America,
standing military. Yeah,
right. Is Cuba part of Latin America? I mean, what is he talking about?
Right. So, he's down there and there's some soldiers down, and we always have troops in like Panama doing like jungle training type stuff. And he's talking to those troops down there. And the whole time I'm thinking about the guys on the ship and morale in the military. And it's not great. And you see how they're spreading the military so thin in Latin America.
Right.
For me, I see that and I think, for Cuba, I kind of breathe a sigh of relief because we're spread so thin already. But morale wise and for the U.S. military wise, it's just not sustainable. They can't keep this up until Trump leaves office. They can't do this for 2 more years. They'll have a revolution in the military.
I mean,
a lot of soldiers.
Listen, I don't know, man. It's freaking crazy. Honestly, it's crazy.
And look,
I don't know.
I don't bemoan. My brother served in the Marines. He was on the front lines in Iraq in the early days. Saw some brutal stuff. I have nieces and nephews that are serving, and mostly because it's an escape from poverty. It gives you some stability and a leg up to escape some things. But I see what they're doing, and I think of my nieces and nephews, and I'm glad they're in the States. But for how much longer? How's their morale? Like how they don't seem too thrilled about a lot of what's going on, and I try not to bring it up, because I don't want to put any pressure on them. But Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking in the chat room, and apparently you're not in the chat room, or you're not in the picture on Substack, and I can't figure out
oh,
exactly what the malfunction is, but people are
it's a big
complaining because they're
OU.
like, it's just me, and they're like, Marlon, we like you, but where the hell's Arturo?
It's like your whole it's your whole face. I
Well,
just
folks,
looked
I'm
at it.
sorry. Look,
Oh, that's funny.
we're independent
That's
journalists.
funny.
We are not professional production folks, and it shows
Yeah, that's not
sometimes.
us.
That's
That's not me. You're right.
it is not our forte. We're
I'm a
doing the best we can.
right.
So
I'm a
you know what?
journalist who works with words.
Yeah,
I do words.
yeah. When people ask me what I do, I spell words on with my thumbs.
Basically,
Folks,
yeah.
I am so
Right.
sorry, but I'll tell you what you can do. I'm going to post a link because we're also broadcasting live on YouTube. And based on the quality of comments we get in the YouTube chat room, we could use you over there. We really could use you. So let me figure out a link to the YouTube page, and I'm going to post it on Substack, and hopefully, and you know what? I will make a point to, um, to post the recording. I can download it from the platform that we use, and better late than never, I hope. But I guess you know what,
Yeah.
Arturo, this is kind of like a low key way to get folks to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So hold on just a second.
It's
While
funny.
I'm messing with
I
this,
tried
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I tried to turn my phone sideways to see if it was,
I don't think you're
widescreen.
there,
It's still
man.
just you.
I have
It's
no
just you.
idea what I did. You know what? I'm gonna blame it on the
I'm being
alcohol.
rebellious.
I'm sorry, folks.
Gotta be like
I'm gonna
conservatives, blame it on
actually,
something but
dude.
us.
Actually, okay. I just posted a link to now. That's to the channel, and let me see if I can do a little bit better. And yeah, when you go to the channel, you'll see us. There'll be two live streams, and if you're on a phone, there's one that works a little bit better, and then the other one's just the regular one. And while you're there, please subscribe, because I'll tell you what I do, what I do after most of the live streams is eventually I will publish it with a breakdown of what we talked about and all that kind of good stuff. But if you whether you're a subscriber on Substack or not, the YouTube stream is it's going to be there right after we're done. The recording will show up on the YouTube channel. So anyway, moving on. Can we talk about the Kennedy Center? That's so funny. I just got a text from someone. The Kennedy, I don't, I guess you could chalk it up to, some sort of personality disorder. But what the hell with this? I don't put my name on shit that I actually own. What is it with this guy wanting to put his name? This would be the equivalent. This is a memorial, the Kennedy Center. This is like going to engrave your
Right.
name on somebody's tombstone. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, folks, for those who don't know,
Yeah.
today we found out that, when Trump got into office, one of the first things he did was get rid of the board for the Kennedy Center that was in place, and he put his own people who apparently have no ability to say no to him. So
Right.
this has been through the courts. They made him take down his name off the building. And I guess it was today, this board of, cronies voted to engrave his name on the building. Like it's supposed to say something like renovated by Donald J. Trump. There was nothing wrong with the Kennedy Center. There's nothing wrong with it.
What the
So
heck?
there's that.
Right. 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 I guess he wants to make sure they can't remove it. I mean, that's all I could think.
I
Why else
guess.
would you etch your name into something.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's
That's
something
just,
psycho about it. I'm telling you, something's wrong with this guy.
I think a lot of, I think a lot of these things, I do think something's definitely wrong with the guy, but I think a lot of the people around him at the White House get behind these things because they provide somewhat of a distraction from other things. Like one of the things, okay, so I've been going at it with a lot of conservatives, let's just say that, on Facebook.
Bless your
And
heart, man.
uh, right, and one of the things they don't seem to understand is that there's a surveillance state being built right now to
Mm-hmm.
watch everybody, to monitor everybody, all while they have you distracted with mass deportations, immigration, and all that thing. They're creating all this inhumane stuff and doing all this crazy stuff, and everybody's focused on that, and rightfully so. We should be, but we also need to be paying attention to the surveillance that they're building behind the scenes, because at the end, most of these conservatives are like, "Oh, you got nothing to worry about, right? I don't care if they're watching me." They say, I've seen statistics and studies and stuff that say the average person commits 3 felonies a day without even knowing it.
Really?
You know?
Boy, I'm in
So
trouble.
if
Just three?
right,
Just
right.
three?
So if
I think I
if
might have a real
right.
problem.
Say for example, you do something that you might think is relatively benign, but a flock camera might not think so. Some AI
Mm,
system might not think so. Cops won't think so. And I just don't get how people are just so willingly letting technology just go rampant like this. And,
mm-hmm.
with billionaires controlling it, billionaires making money, billionaires trying to keep track of everybody and selling it to the government. Um, and at no point is anybody saying, "Hey, wait, we should stop." Like the moratoriums on data centers, like these things need to happen, because that's what those are. Those are surveillance states. This isn't for AI. This isn't for Amazon. Like, look at all the things Amazon and stuff has been doing since before AI started, without these massive
Mm-hmm.
data centers. And they did a lot. They don't need this. Even after AI started, look at what we're doing. These buildings being built. I think the Substack stream dropped.
Yeah, it's a real mess. And I mean, unlike
But
I will take full responsibility for this. And I'm really sorry, guys. It's my first mistake of the year. And
yeah, it's what.
what are you
But
gonna do? It
but
was
but
inevitable.
yeah. I think that letting this stuff happen without really raising your voice about it, it's gonna the blowback's gonna be, it's gonna hurt. and
Hmm.
and we're going to be in a situation, like we've talked before about how around mass incarceration, entire economies are built. Whole cities are dependent on prisons, and that's what's going to happen here. You're going to build these entire economies around surveillance, and then how do you dismantle an entire economy that's built on something that's nefarious, like mass deportation, mass incarceration? It's impossible to get rid of. So once the mass deportation machine is done doing what it's doing and all this infrastructure is in place, next thing you know, people are going to be getting arrested for petty stuff that was seen on a camera somewhere.
Hmm.
And that's the
Man,
ridiculousness of where we're going.
speaking of the whole deportation industrial complex, what about this story where I guess Homeland Security is getting ready to spend $20
Oh,
million on some
yeah.
gloves that, apparently they're like fucking Iron Man repulsing. Like they could just touch you and like shock you. That,
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing could go
That's
wrong with
not
it.
going to be abused. Yeah, that's not going to
No.
be abused at all.
But mind you, they still don't have body cameras,
Right.
but they got $20
Right.
million for this.
On a no bid contract on top of
Of
that. Right.
Man, I don't think they know that you're supposed to have more than one person bidding for a
I
contract.
don't think
I
they
don't think they
I
know.
don't think they care. Yeah, I don't think they care.
Mm.
I really don't.
Uh, yeah,
And
survey
it's just,
says you're right.
yeah. Yeah, the shock thing, it's again, Going back to like the flock camera things, like we just had cops around here busted for abusing the flock cameras.
Yeah, can you explain these
tracking.
cameras? Because apparently they have them over in Wilmington. And
Mm.
for the last month, Facebook has just been blowing up. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
even in Wilmington, and people, I don't even, what are they? What's the deal?
Well, flock cameras, they started out as license plate readers, but
Oh,
they
okay.
actually track your movements. I saw a report the other day, it was a video, and they're talking to one of the people at the flock company, and he's talking about, no, this isn't surveillance technology, this, and then he goes into this long diatribe about how it's exactly surveillance technology, how it follows you around like a
Wait,
flock
when you
camera,
say
for example.
follows you, what do you mean?
Dude, they turn. Like there's the
Oh,
reporter that was doing
it
this
actually
report
like
was,
locks in
yeah,
on you and moves?
this guy was walking through a park where there's a flock camera, and this thing followed him where he was going, tracking every movement, and it records your gait, it records, your posture, it records like, so the license plate reader cameras, they can detect what model car you have, what trim is on the car. Like if you bought an LE or an LS or an
Yeah.
XLT, they'll know. The cameras can detect that. The thing is that they're wrong all the time. Like there's a lot of people. I've seen at least 3 or 4 cases in just the last few months where people were accused of committing a crime in states they were nowhere near, that they've never been to. And they're
Oh,
like, dude,
wow.
I've never been to that state. And they arrest them anyway because the flock camera gave them an 80 or 90%, yeah, it's this person. And
Jeez.
they're basing it just on the camera and not the evidence. So what does that tell us? Like that, these are not trustworthy systems, and a lot of innocent people are going to get rounded up for some really stupid shit. And it's really scary to think of that. We complain about China and their surveillance state, and here we are. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
Hmm.
How can you
Well,
criticize other people for doing what you're doing?
what's interesting about it to me is I am not in a forget blue state. I mean, I guess if you had to guess, at least based on what we know now, North Carolina is a purple state. We got a
Right.
Democratic governor, but the legislature is Republican. And so, anyway, the interesting thing is MAGA doesn't like this because I mean, I'm in, because of my little, me and my wife had this, the side business, the plant bus. So we're in all the Facebook group, the local Facebook groups. It's not progressive, not in the least. I mean, most of these people are,
Right.
either full tilt MAGA or Republican, the old school kind of
Right.
Republicans. And that is how, I mean, they're going off about this. So
Right.
this is not even a Republican or Democratic kind of thing.
It is
This is
not.
a
Right.
people don't
Right.
like you watching them kind of thing.
Yeah, you see it. I'll be up in East Texas this weekend, and up there I see more flock cameras than I do in Houston. And the thing about it is somebody asked if is flock able to do this because they're recording public spaces? Essentially, yes. The Supreme Court has said that, and
Hmm.
when you're in public, you know you don't have an assumption of privacy. However, you do have some privacy in your car, and the cameras aren't all in public spaces either. They're in Home Depot parking lots pointing outward. So Flock is
Hmm.
installing these on private property, but they're recording traffic going by the store, in and out of the store, in and out of neighboring stores. There's for here in Texas, there's a couple of these little weed stores, right? And with all these new laws that
Okay.
were passed,
So they so
and they
what? They're
have
trying to
they
see
have
who's buying
get this.
weed, huh?
Right. So get this. In a Lowe's parking lot, there are flock cameras not pointed at the Lowe's, pointed at the weed store.
Get out. What is this,
What the
man? This is
fuck?
like I just
Yeah,
got through rewatching The Wire. This is like this is like something out of The Wire.
right. So it's just crazy that Lowe's and Home Depot and all these private companies who are already handing stuff over to ICE to bust day laborers and stuff are also working with Homeland Security and selling this data to them to put them in their fusion centers that police also have access to, that every federal agency has access to. Like the fusion centers are the key to look for local police to be able to track you using federal government data, and for the feds to track you using local government data.
That's
So
nuts.
like it's a flowing system that goes back and forth, and like there's no escaping that. There really isn't.
I
And
don't know,
I
man.
just it's crazy because in Texas, people are up in arms about this. A lot of super Republican MAGA, they're pissed off about data centers because a few years ago, get this, some towns wanted to ban fracking. Greg Abbott pushed a law through that basically took that right away from local towns and counties, right? So now local municipalities can't block fracking. Guess what? People are finding out they can't block data centers either.
Oh boy.
So now
So some of
there
our
has been
folks from
last time.
Substack are showing up in our YouTube chat. Yay. Don't forget to
Yeah.
subscribe while you're here, folks. And I'll do better. I guess I'm gonna have to take a course on how to do my job on this show. Okay,
But
some
yeah,
familiar faces.
so there's very few bipartisan issues today,
Mhm.
and government surveillance and data centers are and pot and marijuana are three very strong bipartisan issues. And if you're not running on reining this stuff in and letting people smoke their weed,
Listen,
you
man,
know what
I'm
I mean?
telling you.
You're probably gonna lose.
So I will cop to this. There's a dispensary or whatever down, and North Carolina is so crazy. They passed a hemp law and accidentally passed a weed law.
Same thing
So
happened here.
because they are so determined not to talk to people who know what they're doing. Just
Right.
like the abortion issue, talking to everybody but doctors. And in this case, I mean, I guess they probably could have gotten a chemist or somebody that knew what, maybe, some Gen Z person that knows. I mean, but a bunch of old guys, this is maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it came out in the paper that what they had passed was actually essentially making weed legal. It is so funny, the people that you see walking into that place. It's not who you would think.
Yeah.
It's soccer moms.
Yeah.
Them kids are
The-
driving them crazy, and they're like, let me stop by the dispensary and get some help.
So here's what's funny. So this is how incompetent Texas Republicans are. We also passed the hemp law, which accidentally legalized weed, right? Just like y'all did. This
Mhm.
recent ban that just went down that everybody was freaking out about, and our Texas laws are crazy. I can still go to a dispensary and buy bud. There's one 2 miles from my house. I was down there
Wow.
and I saw my
Dude, I've
neighbors. I
seen,
saw
I
my
mean,
neighbors down there. I saw some white suburbanite people in a black neighborhood buying weed at a dispensary. I'm like, what y'all doing here?
really, y'all
I'm
lost?
alone around here. You ain't.
Funny
Like,
how they get over whatever fear of they it's like, look,
yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta freaking take the risk, So
Yeah.
yeah, we
And
gotta
it's crazy that you can still buy bud at a dispensary here, but
unbelievable.
you can't buy pre-rolled, you can't buy a vape, you can't buy gummy, certain type of it's so they have no idea what the hell they're doing. They really
Wow.
don't.
I'll tell you, man, it's surprising to me. And one of the things too, I think that's driving the whole situation, right, is didn't mean to put that one up. The whole, the alcohol industry is hurting,
Yeah,
and for two
big time.
reasons. I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, Trump has totally fucked up the whiskey industry in Tennessee and Kentucky
Yeah, he did.
with these tariffs. I mean,
He sure did.
it's a high margin, profitability business. And, just the blowback from Canada and just that whole mess.
Yeah.
I'll drop the article in there, and on top of that, my daughter, who's 23, she's not really all that. I mean, she'll have a mojito, but she's not like me where every day, me and Shannon will share a bottle of wine or something. They're just not, just don't do that. Right.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with weed. I mean, I would much rather her sit up here and do what she does. And if she wants to get high, go right ahead and not be hypocritical about it, because I'd much rather that than her driving around drunk, you know.
No shit. No
So
kidding.
I think there's definitely, obviously, some politics driving, all these, like down where you are. With now, I thought they had banned weed. Are you saying that's not really how'd they
Dude,
mess it up?
I,
Because they've been saying that they
so
did.
yeah, and that's the thing. They banned so many product, a lot. They did ban a lot, but what was not listed in there was, the THCA, and you can get it everywhere. And THCA has very low, THC levels until you light it. And once you light it and it starts burning, the
Oh,
THC levels it go up.
see, dude,
And that
I hadn't
they
done the
banned everything
chemistry
but
on
that.
this stuff.
I haven't either. I looked it up. I just looked it up to try to figure out the differences between Delta A, Delta Lit, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
THCP, like all these different things. And THCA was never on the list. And like
So
you can still get
wait
it.
a minute, dude. You know what's happening? These dudes are smoking weed and then they're trying to make laws. Because
It
this
could be.
is
I mean, I don't
stupid.
know. Like Dan Patrick is you would think he came out of the movie Reefer Madness. Talking about you buy this on the shelf and it'll destroy your life. Just one bite of this gummy is gonna ruin you forever. Like it's gonna make you a paraplegic or something. Like,
Man,
bro,
I
stop it.
heard
Okay.
I heard a clip a
You
couple
know,
of days ago, and I guess it was in Texas. And this one I guess it was the state house. And this one woman said that THC was a weapon of mass destruction.
oh
Like
my God.
it's a nuclear bomb or something. Yeah, she
Okay.
said, and was serious. So yeah,
I think
anyway,
meth heads
I
would
don't know.
yeah, meth heads would like a word on that one because yeah, we
Really.
just yeah, like we have Texas has a major meth problem, and we never do jack shit to handle that. But we want to start freaking
So
out about
why do
here.
you I mean, weed is so easy to focus on. And you know what's funny? I saw a documentary years ago about just the whole thing with weed and why, and you trace it back, and it's again got to do with Mexicans. That was the whole reefer madness thing. Was we got these
It
Mexicans
was
coming here and taking
yeah,
siestas. They're all high and can't do their job. Just fucking with these people. I mean,
right,
oh Lord. You know what's funny to me about America? Just about everybody here except the indigenous folks came from somewhere else.
yeah,
And some kind of way, you got all these people acting like this was their shit. Anyway, just throwing that
yeah,
out there.
yeah. I see. One of the arguments I don't know why all of a sudden all these MAGA people latched onto me on Facebook, but I'm like getting battered every day,
You
nonstop. We're
need some
talking
help, man.
hundreds of
I'll follow you.
hundreds of comments, man. Yeah, do it. Yeah,
I don't
go
know
look
why
on,
they don't fuck with me, man. They just really don't.
but
Well, for one thing, you're a whole lot more you're a lot more classy than I am. I give people it's one strike and you're out. Yeah, I
yeah,
just don't have the patience. And when they come at me with some silly shit, I unload. And
well,
not like
yeah,
belligerent. Man, when you work on a trading desk and you got people saying mean stuff to you all the time, you come up with I
right,
always got a comeback that's gonna embarrass you.
right. That's me too. Like I grew up in the inner city, and like you dealt with a lot of trash talk, and it was always about
Yep.
talking back, right?
You
But
had to,
yeah,
because if you don't, man, you just get they aren't gonna go away, right?
right. And one of the arguments that these people keep making, these conservatives, is about illegals coming here, doing harm, blah blah blah, and they're like, One of them was, if they didn't come here, then the crimes they committed would never have happened. I'm like, oh, so you mean like the white people that committed genocide, enslaved people? Like if they just
No,
never came in the
no.
first place, none of that would have happened? Is that what you're saying? Because that's been my response. I'm such a smart ass to some people all the time. I call them simple. I call them all kinds of shit. Like, and they just, one guy saw me. I guess I must have roasted 100 people in one comment section, calling them simpletons and stuff. This one guy's like, I'm an ex-cop and I guess I'm a simpleton, blah, blah. I arrested so many immigrants when I was working and blah, blah. And I was like, and how many white dudes you arrest? How many U.S. citizens did you arrest? Like, talk to me about, let's talk numbers, bro. Come on.
Mm.
So for every one undocumented person that committed a crime that you arrested, how many white people did you arrest? Like, dude blocked me right away. Like, I mean, dude, don't come at me thinking you're going to be some genius, smart ass. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I know.
these people are so dumb, they don't see their own
I have been,
ignorance and stupidity.
I mean, I notice you're streaming on X and you're so brave, man. That's almost like going to a Klan rally. I
No, I
just
think Facebook's
really,
worse, man. I
Ugh.
think for me it is
So
anyway.
how
Facebook.
I stream on Facebook, but the Journeyman has a page. So,
Mhm.
I've actually thought about not streaming on Facebook anymore and maybe doing Twitch or just some other venue.
Right.
But or even LinkedIn maybe, but I suspect I'm a little too salty for for LinkedIn. Maybe on
Yeah.
special occasions like when I'm talking to an economist or something like that. But anyway, I I just can't do X. I mean, I still have an account there, and it's but
Yeah.
I just life's too
Only
short.
reason only reason I'm still there, and I tell this to people all the time, is because the international audience that I have, a lot of them are
Hmm.
there. Cubans are there. Cubans are there in Facebook, not really anywhere else. Um, so that's I stay on Twitter because that's how I can communicate with a lot of people in the rest of the world without having to endure a lot of
Yeah.
BS to do it.
So hey, here's a
Facebook
question
same
in the
way.
chat room. I'm going to put it up there. Can you see it? Um, I just put it on our screen. It's Arturo. I know you talked about this already about service members on the Lincoln, but what is your take on this thought? With the leaked Pentagon War Games memo using mass civil unrest as the basis for the midterms. So I'm wondering,
So
so are you saying are you saying that I mean it sounds like they're saying it's almost like they're war gaming, another January 6th or something like that. I haven't heard. I
or
mean, I
something
wouldn't be
bigger.
surprised if
Yeah.
it's happening,
Um,
but I haven't heard that.
yeah, I haven't the Pentagon does a lot of these
Yeah.
war game type scenarios, and typically the civil unrest stuff is reserved for like DHS agencies, and border
Hmm.
patrol trains on civil unrest a lot. Surprisingly, they have a whole thing about that. ICE does basically all the DHS agencies do. You don't typically see the military do civil unrest type war games because the military doesn't get involved in that, or it's not supposed to. Um, I do think that if they do try to do these war games between now and the midterms, it's because of the midterms. I
Mm.
think, I think that there will be some type of, scare voters away plan for the midterms, because Donald Trump, his endorsements aren't winning any elections anymore. A lot of people are turning on him. His polling is super low, even with Republicans. I mean, he's only polling 40% in Texas.
Dude,
That's
I
a
heard that
crazy low number.
he's polling in the 30s in Mississippi.
Yeah, right,
I mean,
right.
what the hell? So, a couple of hours ago, and you're in Texas, so maybe you have heard about this, but um, I want to say it was on Deadline White House. I was in the car and I'm listening, and so they're talking about the border, and this apparently, whoever it was that was talking went down and talked to a lot of the police that are, border patrol, I guess, and they're not happy because
Nope.
wherever this was, Trump is trying to build this wall through.
Through Big Bend.
Yeah,
Big Bend.
yeah, Big Bend. That's the place they mentioned, and they're
Yeah, it's a
taking
national
people's
park.
land around
Yep.
it, I guess. And some of the wall has to be over in Mexico or something. It's just a really weird situation, and these
Right.
guys
They
are
have
not
to.
really liking this.
So Big Bend is a national park. It's mountainous area. A lot of people own property there that are expecting doomsday. Like that's where they're going to hide. You know what I mean? That's kind of Big Bend
Mhm.
is so remote like that, but it's highly visited and people love that place here in Texas. People go and vacation in Big Bend, even though it
Mhm.
seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, they're talking about blowing through mountains, destroying like there's like endangered trees. There's a specific tree. I was just reading about this a couple minutes before we came on. I didn't get to finish it. A specific tree where there's only like one left of, and they want to
What?
get rid of. It's in their way. They want to flatten it.
These
They are
guys
taking
don't
people's
have any
lands.
respect for anything, do they?
Nothing, dude. They plowing through an area of indigenous land that encompasses both sides of the border. They're gonna they're going to divide a reservation with a wall, one
Jeez.
that's on both sides of the border.
Mm.
The you know the wall's already partially blocking the monarch butterfly migratory routes. If
Okay.
they keep going the way they're going, they're going to block it completely. And we get those here. They're mostly in Central Texas. We get them a lot here in the Houston area when they're migrating north. The wall is going to destroy that. It's going to ruin that. Like they're messing with the environment. Like there's videos. I remember posting one a while back of wild animals trying to find a path through the wall because their normal path is now blocked. So like their normal migratory patterns are being disrupted, and like there's bears that have to travel 10 or 11 miles out of their way each way just to get back on their migratory path. They have to
That's
leave it
crazy.
and then come back 20 something miles. A lot of wildcats are struggling. Like there's dead wildlife all along the wall all the time, and
I
people have
mean,
no idea
they're just doing this
that
stuff, and
happens.
they're not doing any kind of
And here, right,
environmental work or any of that stuff. They're just
and the thing is,
throwing up walls.
they're putting up they're putting up walls where people don't cross. The only time people cross in areas like Big Bend is when, say, Trump closed the border and they're desperate enough to try to take the risk. They'll go through dangerous terrain and people will die. You can talk to Jen Budd about this. Her and I have had this discussion a bunch of times. There have been somewhere in the tens of thousands of bodies found along the border.
Wait,
The estimate
I'm sorry, tens of thousands?
of people that over the years, over decades,
Yeah.
people trying to cross the border through remote areas end up dying through heat exposure, freezing, like all these things. The estimate is actually in the 200,000 to 300,000 range. We only know of about 30,000 over the last several decades. And Jen Budd knows the details on these
We should
numbers
get
more
her
than I
on
do. Yeah, and her and I have had this discussion, and dude, it's harrowing. Like I've seen documentaries of there's like whole scientific teams whose sole job is to find these remains and try to identify them for families.
Wow.
And there are so many. There are several thousand that have yet to be identified that are sitting, in storage rooms, and it's shameful, And in the process of finding these migrants that die in these barren and remote areas, they also happen upon like mass graves from, cartel killings and stuff. They bury
Wow.
10, 20 people in a hole. Yeah. And, all of that stuff. And they just want to put a wall up. And at no point are they trying to solve these situations there's no reform to try to make sure this doesn't happen again. The harder you make it to cross the border, the more likely people are going to die try to cross in remote areas, and that's the bottom line, because you can't. It's human nature. It's mammals. We're animals. We migrate. We move. We flow. Putting up a wall doesn't prevent that. They're going to find a way. And unfortunately, it's. I hate talking about this, but it's just so many like kids, and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's
Whew,
bad.
man. There's this guy, Adam Swerver, that is he's a staff writer for The Atlantic. And during Trump's first term, he kind of came up with this phrase. I know you've heard it, but cruelty is the point.
It is.
How
And-
do you, I just, look, I'm not anywhere close to being perfect. I'm not even saying,
No,
I just don't even
not at all.
think of doing shit like this to people. And believe me, there's
So
some
this-
folks I do not like, but I don't think of just like, oh, let me go out here and fuck some people up. Have you seen this video
Yeah.
that I think in the last day, there's a woman, sounds like she's Latina, and these ICE guys have surrounded her vehicle, and the guy is
yeah.
like up in her window pointing his gun. And
Mhm.
he knows he's being recorded. And he, look, she's talking shit. Okay. And but that's not
She's
against
allowed
the
to.
law. And
Right.
they're trying to say that they're trying to get it on, video that she weaponized her vehicle. And she says,
I
at some
saw the
point,
video.
I've got a dash cam. You're lying. And these dudes just rolled up and walked away.
Yep.
But what the hell? I mean, I grew up in Arkansas. I've never really owned a pistol, but it's shotguns and rifles and all that kind of stuff. You don't point a weapon at somebody unless you're ready to shoot.
Right.
And it could have been another Renee Nicole Good situation. And when I first saw it, I thought that was what I was getting ready to see. And they turned around and walked off. And now they have filed charges against the woman, I believe,
Against her.
saying that,
Yeah.
she tried to use her car to run over all of these guys. There's like a half dozen of them. And they were in fear of their life and blah, 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 blah. And man, I don't know what they're paying these guys, but it's, it just bugs me that there are people out here that would point a gun. The guy's in her window. I mean, in her side, her window's down.
Yeah.
And he's like got this gun a foot from her face. I'm telling you, man, I just don't, everybody, I hear these people this, oh, this isn't us. It fucking is us. We
It
keep doing
absolutely
this
is.
stuff. It's
Right.
absolutely us.
Right. Right.
Don't be telling me
It's
we're
just,
better than this. We're not better than this.
And for all these dudes in the comments here talking about whose fault is that about the immigrants dying at the border? It's Donald Trump's fault, bro. In his first term, his maximum pressure sanctions, we talked about this last week. Migration out of Venezuela before his sanctions, $150,000 a year, or $150,000 a year. After the sanctions, 2 million, just like that, overnight. Donald Trump created the mass migration crisis, the migrant crisis at our border. Joe Biden didn't lift the sanctions, so continuing on that process, and that's why we ended up in the situation we're in. That's why we have all this hyperbolic nonsense, shooting people in the face, pointing guns at people, all this stuff because of mass migration that Donald Trump caused. So all these rednecks are mad about immigrants, right? They want to blame Biden for quote unquote open borders. Biden turned away 4.5 million people at the border, deported 2 million more. There were no open borders. The reason why so many people were at our border and the reason why 18 million people left Venezuela is because of Donald Trump, or 8 million people. And those 8 million people, only about 1 million came this way. They mostly stayed in Latin America because they don't want to fucking come here because of people
I
like
knew
that in
more.
the comments.
Well,
Right.
it's really interesting to me that Democrats never seem just what you just said. They never say that. They are so
Right.
defensive and dodging and all. And I mean, Obama
You know why
got
they
into
won't
a hell
though?
of a lot of trouble, if you remember, for deporting so many people. You know,
He
they were
did.
calling him the
He did.
deporter in chief.
Yeah,
So,
I was
and I'm
one of
not saying
those.
it was good. I'm just saying if Democrats want to have the argument, you know, the evidence is there.
Right. And you know, most Democrats will not mention the sanctions because most Democrats supported them. And that's
Hmm.
the shame. Like you could really, really take down Republicans right now with that message about Donald Trump created that because the data's there, it doesn't lie. It's been done
Hmm.
over and over and over again. But they won't because they supported it. And you know, all these guys here talk all this trash about, you know, they act like we're some sort of partisan hacks or something. I assure you, Democrats get roasted just as much as Republicans do around here. You know,
Yes,
because being a
subscribe.
party
You'll
to the
see.
problem makes you as guilty as the party. Right. If you're a party to the problem, you're guilty as a party. That's all there is to it, especially in
Yeah.
politics.
Now we
And
just, you know, the
I
thing is, if you're looking for, you know, misinformation, talking, this is not for you. But I mean, we're all about the receipts, and
there's
Democrats
more
screw up
20
too.
million fucking idiots.
Okay, no,
Sorry.
that's
Sorry.
well, yeah. And you know what's
I can't help
funny?
but laugh at these dumb.
It's like, dude, just bring some facts. That's I'm not.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't even bother to kick people like that out because we should know
They're
there are
just that
people that are that ignorant running around. And you know what? Why
right.
shouldn't he say that? Because JD Vance says the same thing. I
Right.
mean, as a
And they're
matter of
fair.
fact,
Right.
since Trump has been president, that number's gone up 10 million. The other day he was saying it was 30 million people. And I'm sort of like,
Right.
well, give them some fucking jobs because we don't have enough people to take all the jobs that we got. You know, it's
Right.
ridiculous.
There's
It's
barely
really,
that
really
many
sad.
there ain't that many immigrants in this country to say 20 million
Period.
came in 4
No,
years.
it's
Period.
crazy.
Like, I mean, come on.
You know what? The
Come
last,
on, man.
I actually do. Well, you know this already. I occasionally lecture at the University of North Carolina in Wilmington, and right before the election, I did a talk on misinformation and disinformation, and that was one of the data points because during the vice presidential debates, JD Vance basically spit out that, you know, 20 million immigrants here and taking jobs from Americans and you know, even the right leaning I see what you I see what you're looking at.
Right.
Even the
Sorry.
right leaning, you know, research entities. There's one, I think it's called FAIR or something like that. Even
Yeah.
their numbers are not 20 million. This is from the far right. They're not even saying 20 million.
Right.
And I think the consensus is maybe, and this is undocumented immigrants, period, not just from south of the border, but period. The last number, and it may have been updated in the last year, but it's like 10, maybe 11 million. And that's the
Yeah.
high
Last
side.
number right. And last number I saw was 12 million. And what people don't
And I will
realize
say my
is
numbers when I gave that talk, so that was, I'm going to say it, well, it was right before the election. So what, a year and a half ago.
okay.
And the most
Yeah.
recent numbers they had, I want to say it was maybe 2023 or 24. So, you know, you could very well be right. But
Right.
that would
And the
mean that they
undocumented
came in while Trump was president.
they did. That started when he was president in 2019. But the word undocumented is a misnomer because those 12 million have court cases. They have
Mhm.
pending asylum claims. They have green card applications. They're awaiting work permits. They're in the system. They are documented. It's not like they're walking around and the government doesn't know they're here. They know. And thanks to
Mhm.
fusion centers, cops know which ones are in their city. DHS knows if they end up in jail. If ICE really wanted to, you always see all this hype from Homeland Security. We're asking so and so state to not release this person on bail. You know what? ICE can just go walk into that jail and grab them and put them in a detention center. You don't need to
Or
ask a
you know
state.
what
You don't
they
need to
could
make this
do?
big old show. They just don't. They just want to make a show.
Or they could find the companies that hire them.
Right, but they don't do that.
I know.
And as far as cartels or the Democratic National Committee, Donald Trump is the one that's pardoning cartel bosses, not Democrats. So let's
For
just
real.
leave it at that. Okay, he's pardoned at least 3 prolific drug
Dude,
smugglers.
he pardoned a
just this
guy. I
term.
mean, I saw a figure because every time he pardons some of these people, I mean, these are some high profile offenders, and a lot of them think about it. These are cases that have gone through courts, and these guys have been, aside from prison sentences or whatever, they also have restitution to make in the millions. I saw a figure the other day that, when you add up all the pardons, it's like in the billions of dollars that people who were scammed or, stolen from, whatever it was, are just not going to get that money.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Hey,
And not for nothing,
thing
some of these guys that he lets out, and you look up, a few days later, all of a sudden some money hits that meme coin.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, and I want to shift gears. I know we're about to run out of time, but did you see, I posted it on Substack a couple days ago, the FinCEN, how they were saying that corporations no longer have to report what they own. Shit. I should have tagged you.
Wait
so
a
you
minute,
could
man.
see it. Let me see.
No, I got to jump on this.
I want to read.
They don't have to report.
Yeah. No. Like who owns the corporations, bro? Like it's so crazy. Where'd it go? God damn it. Because I posted it.
So you're talking about what beneficial ownership?
Wrong, right?
That's nuts. I have not heard this.
Yeah,
I see it. FinCEN ends.
Do you?
What? Yeah, I see it. Okay, hang on.
Beneficial ownership reporting, right?
Yeah.
It says small business owners, but read it. It's corporations, including Americans buying into foreign corporations. Tell me who's that? That's not a cover for Trump.
Dude,
that's a cover for Trump. They invest in foreign corporations.
Listen to how they word it, man. Burdensome reporting, like telling people who owns your company. So burdensome, man.
Oh, they're going to delete.
You can have freaking Tony Soprano as your vice, like your co-chairman, and you don't have to tell.
Right.
Holy moly.
Right. In a White House full of billionaires, these fools think that Donald Trump is somehow on their side. There's a White House full of billionaires scamming everybody right in front of our faces, and they're still sucking on that Trump boot. Like, what the hell? I don't understand the 30% of people that still that participate. I mean, here's another one that gets you about Trump and Trumpers, because this is just takes the cake, the FinCEN thing. But they called Joe Biden a pedophile because he sniffed a little. Right. They called Joe Biden a pedophile because he sniffed some little girl's hair. Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files more than Jesus is in the Bible, and somehow he's not a pedophile.
Oh, man.
Come on now. Just, your pedophile president is pulling scams everywhere. Yeah.
And dude, look at this. I was, while I was searching, look at this. This is like today. Woo.
Go figure.
And we're not gonna worry about look, man, I just know we're gonna look up and it's just gonna be like freaking Tombstone. Folks just committing crimes and just I will admit to being naive. I really will, because I was under the mistaken impression that when you broke the law, somebody, especially when you did it out in the open.
Yeah.
I just thought, I don't know. I thought they would come get you. And turns out there's no they. They is in on it.
Yeah.
They is in on it. I mean,
That's actually grammatically correct.
They is in on the whole freaking heist, man. I just, I don't know, silly me. I'm running around here thinking,
Yeah.
if you're the president and your wife has a fucking meme coin, somebody is gonna come and like stop it. And there's no they. Either there's no
There is
they
none, yeah.
or they is also in on it.
Right.
It's you know
What was it,
what?
George Carlin? It's a big club and you ain't in it.
And your ass ain't in it. No, man, it's
That's
just
it.
so crazy because Trump's not going, he's not going to be around forever. I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be around, and I'll just leave it there. But even when he's gone, it's not going to be like, just like the first term. We thought, oh, Trump's out. And this is what Biden and all those guys, okay, we can breathe a sigh of relief. We can go back to normal. This dude's got a taste of it, man. And they are coming up with ways to steal that, I mean,
Yeah.
you saw where Jared
Yeah.
Kushner's brother just bought the Lakers.
Yep.
Now, I will say this. I don't know anything about the guy except what I read in the paper.
No, neither.
He seems to at least have more, how can I put this? Look, because of who he is, certainly there's been, the family situation. He's got some privilege, but at least he's a businessman and seems to know what he's doing. And to get Iger, the former CEO of Disney, to partner with him, the guy's he ain't in the business of losing money.
I mean, I don't know anything about neither one of these guys because I don't obsess over billionaires, but they're billionaires, right? They can't be straight. You know what I mean? Plus a Kushner, come on, man. They've done some shady things. So, but yeah, I'm not going to
they got
judge
it
the
from
guy
their
based on
dad,
his
man.
brother.
I mean,
right. But yeah, definitely privileged, definitely Nepo babies, that kind of thing.
You know what's funny?
One of those.
The guy that owned the Lakers, the reason they were even able to buy the Lakers is because the guy who sold it is trying to raise money because he's under investigation. So it's criminals everywhere you look, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
heard Bill Gates' daughter's under investigation.
What?
Like all these billionaires' kids.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah, she started
Bill Gates' daughter.
Some online. Yeah, she started some kind of online store and was basically padding her sales, like making it look like, her store was doing a lot more sales than it was. And she got caught. Like,
please.
Yeah. This is Nepo baby behavior. They expect to succeed. They don't expect to work for it. And that's the bottom line. And
what's the girl? Politics, hang on a second, man. The fire truck all right, it's going. What is the young lady? Her name escapes me. I want to say she's Latina, maybe. Disney. She came out of the Disney thing, not Ariana Grande. Her name. She literally. No. She's had a lot of mental problems. Shoot.
Oh.
Somebody.
Dang it.
Her
the white girl. Man,
yeah.
I can't.
No. Oh shoot! I should know this.
I don't know.
I should actually know this, and I don't know why. The
Selena
point
Gomez?
is Selena Gomez.
Okay, somebody said it in the comments.
Man, look, we got very intelligent. Thank you, Russell Casey. Because no, it's literally, man. What they just don't quit, do they? Look at this. They don't quit. Okay, you just got your few minutes of fame. So no, Selena Gomez apparently started some sort of a like wellness, business or something with her mom and a person with a newsletter. And they went out and got investors to, significant investment, in the millions. And it was all built around Serena and her her 500 million followers or whatever. And turns out she just did not She didn't do anything. She just kind of, I don't know if it was she and her mom didn't get along or what the deal was. Now they're taking her to court for fraud. Came out today. So yeah. Anyway, man, we
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
sort of, and I mean, I feel like we actually left some scandal on the table that we didn't even get to, and it's already an hour.
Yeah, there's so
We've
much.
already-
Right.
So,
So much.
So, folks, I owe everyone an apology for screwing up our Substack feed today. However, as I said, and thank you to the folks that migrated over to YouTube, and we'll get it out on Substack pretty quick. And I promise I'll do better. I'm going to have to take a course, I guess, on how to set my stuff up. Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to blame it on age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens when you.
I'm going to blame it
you
on the
let people-
feds. It's the feds.
old people. I'm going to blame it on that flock camera, man. I think
There
that
you
just
go.
blows me away.
Damn
It's
flock
so
cameras.
crazy though, dude.
Yeah.
Because this is like, ACLU invasion of privacy kind of stuff. And the only reason I know about it is because of my Trump supporting neighbors that that do not want to be followed around in their movements. And I don't blame them.
Nobody does, man. I mean, that's yeah. I don't either.
Man,
I don't want to be
These
tracked.
pe- Look at YouTube had to take us Substack immigrants. So yeah, but it's okay, folks. Y'all are here legally. It's all good.
It's a mass migration.
It's been a mass
yeah.
migration
It's legal.
from Substack to YouTube. Boy. On that
That's a good
note,
one.
I think we should go out right there. Way to go. Nice one, Russell.
Thank you, Lynette.
Oh, wait. Oh, it's me, Lynette. Okay. Lynette, thank you. I needed that.
I needed that. Me too. Me too.
Substack. And look, they just crossed the border. Look at it, man. We just pushed ourselves. Boy, thank you guys for having a good sense of humor, and God knows we need it. So we will see you next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, take care of yourself and watch
Yeah.
out for those damn flock cameras.
No kidding.
Bye-bye.